Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is On the Anvil, episode 119. This is the show where we take you behind the scenes here at Dwarven Forge. We show you what we're working on. We show you some of the challenges we're facing, and we might just offer you a glimpse of the future. I am Nate. I'm joined over in the side of the studio by Chris, and tonight we're going to hang out for the next 2 hours to talk tabletop terrain, particularly focused on Wildlands Reforged, our upcoming project.
Yeah.
Also, the show that never has any tech issues like me coming in too hot in the opening or anything.
There's nothing I can do about that because I just immediately then need to... Yeah, oh, there we go again.
Hey.
There's nothing I can do about it at this point.
We're back. We were off the air last week, right? I can't even remember anymore.
Yes.
I'm in this weird...
Yeah, your kid was sick. Yeah.
Wait, wasn't that also the fire? Wait, that was fire.
Oh, yeah, that's
week
also
was
when... Yeah,
the,
that's right. That's when Diablo released.
in New York City.
In New York City,
Canada.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, we were covered in smoke and
apocalypse.
we evacuated early because we were just like, yeah, let's get out of here.
Anybody
That's right.
else have a cool orange sky last week?
That was a week ago.
Anyone else? No.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt's here. He had orange sky last week.
He did. Orange Sky.
Woo! But we're back and we're ready to party. What are we doing tonight? What's going on?
So the main thing is, most of you know. If you don't, you're gonna know. We're trying out a very new thing in a couple months. We want to try out a campaign on GameFound that is essentially a souped-up pre-order for a restock of our Wildlands line. A restock and like reconfiguration, like reworking some of the stuff to be more to be better than the compositions we had in
Could
the
we say a
Kickstarter.
reforging?
Yes.
Hey, that was a name that came up. Somebody on the air
It came up from here. We ended up using it. Yeah.
Who was that?
I don't know, but they're not
Yeah.
getting royalties.
No, but they get a big thumbs up. Hey, Dwarven.
They get a lot
thumb
of
in the-
approval. Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna be talking about that for most of it because we've got the big thing is we're gonna give you a glimpse at what we're looking at as the big bundles, basically the
big boys.
the large pledges, basically
The heart of the
equivalent.
Reforged.
Yeah. Sirenscape, thank you for the raid.
Hey.
Yeah, so that's the main thing. And there's going to be a chance to win a $50 Dwarven Forge gift card about an hour in. So if you
$50 Dwarven Forge gift card. Who's eligible for that, Chris?
Everybody is eligible. It's a digital gift card, so we, as far as I can tell, are not subject to any issues. So far, we haven't had any problems. We've been doing it this way for a while. So
So are we inviting problems?
we're
Am I
inviting
eligible, Chris?
problems.
Can I,
Don't tell the cops.
don't tell don't tell the
Don't tell
man.
them. Or the FTC.
I'm sure
who does
Who's policing the airwaves?
who
and
watches
Twitch?
who
Watchmen.
enforces giveaway stuff? Is that the FTC?
It's the Watchman.
No.
It's the big naked blue dude. He's like he comes down. He's
Dr. Manhattan?
like, yeah. He's like, I must give you a warning. You.
I don't think that's a line from the movie.
No, it's
Or
not.
the
I
book.
didn't see the movie, but I read the comic.
Oh, that's
and I loved
good.
it.
Don't see
Yeah.
the movie.
No, it's that guy.
TV shows
Zack Snyder
TV
and-
shows supposed to be good though. Yeah, no, Zack Snyder is not. Yeah.
So anyway, so we're giving away $50.
Yeah, 50. We're giving away
in
$50.
cold hard digital cash. And are we doing anything else?
We're gonna go over the news real
Oh,
briefly.
I forgot the reminder. Like,
Yeah.
hey, this is the whole. I don't know if this was actually the premise when you pitched it like so many years ago, that fateful January. But what I love,
I pitched it in December, and then I spent my Christmas
Trying
that
to-
year putting a pitch together,
it,
and then you started it in January. Yeah.
it was great. But wait, the interactivity, right? The fact we want you to interact with us. So if it's your first time, feel free. This is a welcome place to jump into the chat. Just be nice. It's the only rule. But we love when you give us ideas, when you ask us questions.
Like
You know, you
names
heckle
for
us
campaigns.
nicely, like funny heckling we're into.
Yeah.
Clever, witty responses, banter, and the like. But also, you're welcome to just lurk. There's no wrong way to watch.
Do you see Wildlands on the table? You certainly do, and you'll see it in more detail in like 10 minutes.
In fact, we have so much Wildlands, we're going to have to take a break at some point, and Chris and I are going to have to leave the room and magically bring in a 3-foot by 3-foot table after we've gone through these two.
We really didn't pre-set up the most difficult one to move, huh?
No, because I wanted to save that for last. Chris put
Okay.
together a really cool mountain thing. So
It would have
you
been
gotta
the
wait
better
for it.
one to. All right. Well, all right. Let's just go to the
You
news.
gotta go. You can't go small to large. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's the news. It's the news. News, 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 news. It's the news. I missed it. The news.
Man, a solid.
We don't have a lot of news though. That was basically as long as the whole segment.
That was a lot of peeking. All right, let's.
Woo!
We had a reserve release today. A reserve release, if you aren't aware, is it's kind of a restock. It's not really a restock. It's us finding a bunch of sets that are left over in the warehouse, generally like 5 tops, and then just releasing them all in the store to clear out some space so that when we do put in a restock order, we've got room for it.
5 tops of all the sets, so it was like 100, 200 sets, but only like 3 to 5 of each. So
yeah.
Hunger Games.
It's chaotic. There's a lot of stuff in there. We find things where it's like, this is not a thing we're ever really going to make again, so it gets thrown in there. It's very wild. But that happened. It went pretty well. There's still some stuff in stock from there. A lot of like very weird, odd sets. So, yeah.
Did anybody get the Moonlit Arch? Right, we had a couple of those. Anybody get anything good? Anybody get anything you're excited about?
Yeah. We had like a handful of both of the resin things from Wildlands, and
I think I can see it.
Yeah, we have it positioned which I guess is the other. The reason he's having to reposition our monitor over there is because we had it open because we had a big meeting in here earlier, and it was our first team presentation for the sci-fi set. Showing, for people who've been curious about sci-fi, this is the first time that we all sat down and the development team kind of showed us showed everybody what they've been making, and it looks extremely good. Better than I expected, and I had a high bar.
It's pretty fun. So we started doing team presentations back in Lowtown, to just, as the team grows slowly, right? We're up to 19 people or something. Yeah. But we're, dissemination of information, especially the fast-moving creative stuff of like all the stuff that's getting created. We're trying to make sure to get everybody up to speed more often. So we started doing every 6 weeks. We would do team presentations on. It was originally Cities 2 that was turned into Lowtown. So we did our first one of that on Sci-Fi, which is I was thinking about it. It's been in development for over, I don't know, 2 years or something. This was the tail end of Wildlands. Anybody here watched the last hour of Wildlands? We started maybe kicking around some crazy promises at the tail end, and Chris snuck in the Myrmidon. And at one point, Hamster yelled, "If we cross Myrmidon, let's make sci-fi!" I was like, "Great idea, sci-fi it is. We're doing sci-fi."
He definitely didn't do that. He was looking at me, he was just like, "I mean, sci-fi," and you were like, "Yeah,
good idea. You in the back." He's like,
"I
was just a joke." So we said we'd do a sci-fi set, so we've been slowly developing that, doing it sort of in parallel, whatever. It's been cooking for a while, and it's been sort of full tilt. Most of the dev team was done maybe a month before Lowtown launched or whatever, and been working on sci-fi sort of since before Lowtown launched, and we finally get to show the rest of the team sort of where we're at on that, and it's very, very, very exciting. At some point we will show you. I'm not sure when we'll exactly have the proof of concept ready to take a look at, but there will be a bunch of episodes of On the Anvil about this as we get closer.
For how few pieces there are, it sure does a lot of stuff. It's very cool. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of heavy lifting. I think the pieces are doing a lot of heavy lifting. We're just drawing shit, but stuff. The pieces are. I think we're taking a page out of the Lowtown book, right? Make it as versatile as possible. Did you summon the baby people?
Yep. I'm hearing laughter in the baby photo room. I just remarked 20 minutes ago before the stream started. He's like, you know what? I haven't heard the babies in a long time.
And they're yeah.
And he was like, "Well, you're gonna jinx it. They're gonna show up in like 7 o'clock at night."
Does anybody know about the babies?
And now there's people cackling. There's cackling and banging happening over there now.
Wow,
that's exciting. Are they doing an evening baby photo shoot?
You totally made this up, and 20 minutes ago, and now it's happening. Anyway,
I hadn't seen them in weeks. Is Sci-Fi confirmed as the next Kickstarter? It might be the next Game Found campaign instead of Kickstarter. We'll see.
Currently, it's slated as our next crowdfunding campaign of new pieces. Mm-hmm. How's that? Like lawyers wrote that statement.
It's planned to happen after Wildlands Reforged, which will be the main thing that we're talking about today. That'll be happening in like a couple months. Yeah. So we're looking at like very early next year is like what we're hoping for Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
And then Hightown would be after that.
I'm hoping we'll have proof of concept to show by Gen Con or
Genuinely,
before
I was
Labor Day.
surprised. I was genuinely
Yeah.
surprised at how far along we were. Like, I'm looking at them like, we can start playtesting this very soon.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
it's very close to, like...
We just need to get enough prototypes. Like we're tinkering and refining, but yeah, it's very exciting.
We learned how to make those prototypes during Lowtown, so now we're just able to turn that stuff around faster, which is nice. It looks so good. I'm very excited.
It's really fun. Anytime the team gets to do, I don't know, everything is a new creative adventure, right? And this one has a lot of new, fun, wild bits.
There's so much stuff I want to say, but we should really just wait to. Did you guys get close to 100% pledge managers filled out?
No,
Probably not. I think the last 10% is always just kind of like a long dragged out
We
process.
didn't even get over 80. We're still at like 79.
But I imagine that like when we start like going to people's doors and like breaking windows, like
It hasn't,
we
it
usually
hasn't,
get to
hasn't
90.
broken 80 yet, but yeah.
Yeah. So,
My
which
dad
is
pledged to
just
never-
standard for Kickstarters. There's just a lot of people who back and then just kind of forget. I guess I don't know. So we're still trying to track a lot of them.
Well,
down.
there's a bunch of $1 backers that are never going to do it. And
We're not too concerned with that. We're mostly concerned with people who put in like a couple $1,000s and then didn't fill out pledge manager. It's like, hey,
My dad put in $100 and then said the pledge manager was too confusing and said it just said he kept asking me if I wanted more stuff and I said no and then he laughed. I was like, that sums up the pledge manager so well.
Yeah.
Hey, you gave us money. Give us some more. Hey. And he's like, no, I'm out of here. Like,
yeah.
it was great.
Yeah. So I mean, there's.
Hey,
there's
speaking of which, we didn't talk about the for anybody that doesn't know, stretch goals from Lowtown. So if you finished your pledge manager, hopefully everybody here finished the pledge manager. If you didn't, please email customer service as soon as possible. Finish that out. We don't have a date yet. Hopefully the back end will have a working model of that first thing next week, and we start testing it, and then maybe at best 2 weeks from now or something that goes out. But basically, you get a second invite to Pledge Manager, and you get to go in and you get to choose your stretch goals. Which treasure chests am I going to get? Bump, 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 bump. And add them. No extra shipping, no extra taxes, no extra nonsense, no nothing. Just pick the fun bits and hit send it to me.
Yeah.
And then wait for a year.
Yeah, like they've got, like the pledge manager team is like building it out right now, and then we just have to test it as a team and make sure it's working right. And yeah, so that's very close. Good thinking. I forgot about that, but yeah.
I forgot about it until I didn't.
Yeah.
What were we?
Let's see.
We were just talking. Wait, what was the? Oh, sci-fi. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about sci-fi.
Can't wait to show you. We get there.
Yeah, so sometime in the next couple months, we will be at the point where we can start showing you the stuff and how it works, and it's going to be very exciting.
The future will be the present soon enough.
Yeah. Let's see. Other big things. Our next convention is coming up. Gen Con. It's like the first weekend of August.
Boom.
It's like a month and a half away. We're sending a pretty big portion of the team.
I can't believe it's 6 weeks away. That blows my mind.
Yep.
I'm
6
already
weeks
tired.
scares me more than a month and a half. Wow. We should talk about...
Yeah, that's what just May said yesterday.
We should
Wait,
really...
that was today.
Huh?
That was today. We
What
had
was
Cortex
today?
meeting today. She said, hey, we need to have a Gen Con meeting.
Yeah,
It's
we need
coming
to
6
actually talk
weeks.
about like what we're going to bring.
But she's the one that said 6 weeks. I was like, that's too soon.
Yeah, I've been saying it's 2 months away for like 3 weeks.
But we'll be at Gen Con in our usual booth. We'd love to see you. We might have little special treats for you if you come say hi to us in the booth. I don't know what they're going to be yet. Grab bag stuff or...
Yeah, I don't think we have the floor plan stuff yet either.
Oh yeah, no,
when we know all of that, we'll get that info out.
Yeah,
But
is anybody going?
Should you go if it's like possible for you? If you want to go, yeah. I don't know.
It's massive, right? Biggest in North America. It's like every gaming nerd and gaming company and gaming everything. Like it is an onslaught for the senses. It's wild. I mean, the floor, the exhibition hall is just endless. There's just rooms of people playing games as far as the eye can see, and just costumes and nonsense and all sorts of there's a lot of it is big and intense, and if you want to be immersed in gaming for 4 days, go. It's wild. You'll spend a lot of money. You'll eat a lot of bad food. and you'll be in close quarters with a lot of people. But we'll be there. So.
Yeah, and it looks like people who were there last year, looks like they're going again. Paul, Dragos. Oh, Subtalon. Nice.
The Balanced Druid wants to know, does it feel much cooler than PAX Unplugged? No.
It's a different vibe. I would say Gen Con has closer to like a Comic-Con vibe, I would say. It's a lot bigger, it's a lot
Huge.
Yeah.
Just staggering. Like, you can't see it all. It also feels like PAX Unplugged in particular is like
it's very
more
low-key.
focused and focused on, like, I don't know, it's like happy gamers in a smaller bubble. This is like a broader, like...
Unplugged, you're more
big.
likely to sit down and play games at for a lot of the time. So it's a super different vibe. Like Unplugged is like very chill and laid back. Gen Con is more like going to a theme park.
Yeah, like all the theme parks at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we'll be there at, I think it's 1301 or whatever our usual booth number is, and we'll have, I don't know, 8 of us, 9 of us. It's you, me, Mace,
There's
Miles,
8 of us total, yeah.
Toby.
Me, Tyler, Miles, Mace, Toby, you, Eric, Carrie. It's those 8.
There you go.
Yeah.
So.
Oh
yeah,
so
True Dungeon. There's wild. There's like it's so much. There's so much.
The big thing we're gonna be doing is like we're trying to time Wildlands Reforged to hit with Gen Con. We're gonna see how that goes. We're not gonna launch it if we're just not ready yet. But no matter what, we're gonna be like pushing Wildlands Reforged there a lot. So we're gonna have like a lot of Wildlands stuff there and like come play with these trees and see how they work and all that.
Yeah, pushing it.
Yeah.
There's auctions. There's games. There's like
it's a good time.
Madness. Yeah.
One last thing, and then we'll get into the meat of today's stream.
Meat.
Our friends over at Wild Earth Dice are doing their own Liquid Core collection. If you've seen Liquid Core dice before, they're very cool. We use some from Metallic Dice games during Reliquaries. Basically, like acrylic dice on the outside, but they've got like liquid inside with like some glitter and stuff. So when you roll it, like it's swirling around. It's very nice.
It's like jewels.
Yeah.
Is that?
And they're doing a very he's doing a really cool thing with this collection where he's got like patterns over the top of it that give like windows into the Liquid Core. So instead of like being all the way see through, they're a very cool take on the Liquid Core, and I'm excited for it. I've gotten like stuff from every collection he's done so far. They're very
makes
pretty.
Really neat.
It's like a one guy operation in the UK.
And just weird, kind of. He makes a lot of interesting, bold, creative choices, and
you're part of that Kickstarter. Nice.
Hey.
Yeah, it's like a very very small indie.
It's awesome.
Indie thing.
Yeah.
I talked to him a couple times. Very cool guy.
And I love Liquid Core, like fidget toys too. You just like spin the thing. Like, Is Eric from Customer?
I think it's everything. Yeah, it's that Eric.
Is going,
yeah, he's gonna be there.
Yes, he is.
Is Small Earth Dice and they're very nice? Yes.
Yes, they are.
All right, let's get into it. So, what kind of preamble do we need? Do we need to do it? Do you want to do like a 5-minute?
Reforge.
I don't have any graphics for this.
Oh.
Do you want to do just like a quick 5-minute? What is Wildlands Reforged, and then we'll get into showing people the builds.
I'm glad you asked, Chris. Wildlands Reforged is it's our foray into GameCon. So we've been looking for years. People have been asking for pre-orders.
But we don't really have like the infrastructure to do a pre-order system.
We don't have a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we also want to. There's a lot of stuff we want to, like Wildlands cleared out. Like the store got cleared out very quickly. It's a big expensive line to reorder and whatnot. So we're going to put all that into one thing and do a campaign on GameFound where we are going to offer as many of the Wildlands pieces as is feasible for us. We're reconfiguring a bunch of the packs. It's a second chance to get Wildlands with some better configurations, and then we're taking a Lowtown model, and by configuration I mean the sets. Like we've kind of like Chris and Tyler masterminded, kind of like, hey, could we break these up into better sets that makes more sense, easier to get, and then bundle those up Lowtown style, bunch of component sets into some bundles, perhaps with a discount, perhaps with some other incentive. So it's like, hey, you can kind of get some, big swath of Wildlands here. We're basically going for kind of the greatest hits, like all the best bits and all the stuff that makes sense. There won't be some of the more peripherals, like the miniatures aren't going to make it, and the bio barge and the ruins, because we've already reordered those. Like some of the stuff that's easier for us to reorder in small bits, we're not doing, but like all the escarpments, brand new packs of escarpments and whatnot. So it's going to be, if you missed Wildlands, or you love Wildlands, or you just want more Wildlands, or you don't even know Wildlands, or you want to go check it out, it's going to be another chance to kind of have the Wildlands Kickstarter experience.
And we should say we're also doing this because it's something we can have the factory do while they're doing all the tooling for Lowtown. So we're not actually making new pieces because we can't have them make molds or it'll push it way back.
No new pieces.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be fast delivery, right? So we run the thing in August, close it in September, start producing it in October, and
we're
ship
still
it at the turn of the year.
We're still figuring out a bit like what things like stretch goals and the like really look like. But we've kind of gotten to the point where we feel very solid in what we think like the core offer, the pledge options are, I guess.
Well, there is a chance to take everything we learned about set composition from Lowtown and sort of go back and take a second crack at Wildlands and say, hey, are there better ways to organize these pieces? And then are there ways to organize these sets into cool bundles that give you what you want? And then also, one of the things that Chris has been really focused on is like building out bundles, like use case or actual case bundles. Like, hey, this bundle would be great for playing Shatterpoint on, or for playing Warhammer on, or for playing Pathfinder on, or for playing D&D on, or whatever. Like, kind of building out to the game table and making sure that these toolboxes are great, like toolboxes for the game table. So I'm very excited with the sort of the lineup we put together, and I'm excited to just get a bunch of this stuff back in print that we haven't been able to stock up. And we won't have everything, but the hope is that, once again, the disclaimer. We should have started with the disclaimer. This is all in flux, right? It's like anything Dwarven Forge, and particularly anything on the Anvil, right? We're showing you, we're just lifting up the curtain and just showing you what's happening here. And it will often change, right? Things move quickly, things are organic. We have a lot of changes all the time. So often things that we say or show here will change by the time it gets out into the wild. So it will evolve. But what we're hoping to do is start with all the sets that make sense, and then have some showpiece sets or things that are maybe would be lower multiples, wherever that, hey, if we get enough people show up or enough money raised, we can add some more options in there, such as like bringing back the Oblivion Nexus or something like that.
Daigo, that's a good point. There are like some things from the Caverns Deep Dread Hollow pieces that are actually making their way in here.
Few.
Very, very few, but like there are some pieces from that are making it in here, because we were looking at it and it's like, we should reconfigure those original forest floors, like the packs that we put them in, the heavy forest and light forest don't make a ton of sense. So we're looking at reconfiguring that as well.
But once again, the challenge is scope, right?
Yeah.
We're trying not to do. We already got to like 50 sets without even trying, and it's like, geez, we didn't even. There's still more. So we're trying to balance the same the endless Dwarven Forge challenge, right? The dream and the aspiration versus the realities of execution, and keeping the timeline so we can actually deliver.
We're prioritizing the core building blocks over everything else, and then if it like goes big and it's like, okay, cool, there's definitely support for this, then we'll be able to like increase the scope a bit and like make the order larger and get some of those like more extreme showpieces and stuff in. And if not, then it's something that we'll just have to do later. Yeah. So yeah, that's the general idea.
And the hope is that this is it's relatively easy for us to execute and is well received and can be a thing we then go, okay, we did Wildlands and Forged, now let's go do Dungeons Reforged or Caverns Reforged or Burrows Reforged or whatever. Like it's a chance to sort of go and do some reorder, reconfiguring, and whatnot with these.
Trying to move us into a model where we can do things other than just big 200-piece Kickstarters every year,
And we're really excited to try GameFound because they're very excited to have us there. They're trying to work with us. They're gonna showcase some of the sets that they're gonna be at Origins. They'll have a booth there. They're gonna have our stuff in the booth. working with us, and their platform is awesome. Like there's so many, like the flexibility and the features that all the stuff that we wished was on Kickstarter they have. So we're very excited to give that a whirl and see if it just makes, executionally makes everything easier on our end. Because I don't know if anybody here has run a Kickstarter, but like navigating the back end of a Kickstarter page is murder, and an actual Kickstarter page itself, which is just one long scroll that can't actually do anything, it's a tough way to sort of present information in this modern age. So we're excited. It's going to be a neat way to try the platform, try some things differently, see what we can do about all these bits.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking at. This is part of the new stuff we're trying out. We want to see, one, if GameFound works the way that we're hoping it will, if this kind of approach to getting the store in shape, I guess, is
well, that's the thing is, right, we're looking to what are sets, what are wilderness style or core style wilderness sets that we can have on the web store and design for those. So we can keep stuff there all year round. So you don't have to just be sitting there waiting, refreshing, hoping there's a restock.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll work.
So with that in mind, so the basic idea is we're gonna have a lot of the add-on sets, or component sets we should call them instead of add-on sets, and we're really gonna be focusing on making those listings all very thorough and just kind of showing like there's value in just getting like one or two of these sets and kind of like showing how you can mix that in with your existing terrain or how these things mix and match and all that. But we're also going to have a couple bundles where you can see it. We'll have some sample builds, and then we'll have some that are actually like bundles that you can actually like purchase made up of those things that will show you them like in the context, how these things all combine and all that. And we're our hero bundles, basically what we're looking at as the kind of like the top pledges, the closest to analog to that. We're shooting to be around 1,100, 1,200. We've got them pretty much built out, and we're feeling pretty good about them. We're just gonna make sure that like there's no hiccups with pricing or with the factory or something.
Pricing always the bugbear in the room.
And so they're around heart. If you remember, like the Heart of sets, they're around that size and kind of that purpose, but a bit different.
They're the heart of the Reforged.
Yeah, but just they're made up of component sets instead of having a unique configuration. So that way we could have them on the store and have them available as long as like the component sets are around.
Yeah.
So
same as landmarks and districts in the low town.
The paint will be the same for Reforged. Yeah, this should be, if you have existing wildlands and you want to get more, this should be great for it. If you don't have any of it and you want to get into it, this should be great for that as well.
And we had spitballed on one of these episodes like, hey, maybe it's a chance to do autumnal paint, or just, there's a bunch of options. We don't have time. Like
it's too complicated.
We just want to run this thing and get these sets shipped to you as quickly as we can and do it. Like introducing anything new. Right, we were talking about, hey, we could do neoprene battle mats, or hey, we could do new water texture mats, or hey, we could do this new paint. Anything new is just going to knock us back by months. So like we just keep it every time. Okay, we're just going to work with what we've got and make the most out of what already exists, and then new stuff will be some other form.
We're doing enough new just from the reconfigurations in these bundles. Yep. So keep the scope down, make this manageable so that we can get it to you guys as quickly as possible. This will deliver a lot faster than a Kickstarter because we don't have to make new molds. Like literally, we just get it, we send it to the factory produces and paints them. It'll be basically a restocks time frame.
It's going to be awesome.
It should be delivering like very early next year. Basically.
It's so hard to not do anything new with every turn.
Yeah, it's what we're used to. But
could we just we could just squeak that one little
So
thing
we don't know what we're gonna call these bundles yet. We can't really call them Heart of the Forest, which is unfortunate because that was like the perfect name. So we might do something similar. Do like Breath of the Forest, Breath of the Mountain, or something, and then we'll do like a 3-pack of all four of them, or all three of them together, and we'll call it like Breath of the Wilds or something. We're still looking into the names.
Mildlands.
Tears of the Forest is pretty good. No, we'll save Tears for when we're doing a castle reconfig, and we'll do Tears of the Kingdom. Amazing. Yeah. So let's take a look. The first thing we have up, this is the Forest.
The Tears of the Heart of the Forest. So this
Can't wait for the copyright suit.
This is 2.5 feet by 1.5 feet. It is basically supposed to be your delightful forest toolbox. It's designed to pair really nicely with Dread Hollow Grove, which is our renamed encounter. Was it Encounter 12, Encounter 13, whatever?
It's like
whatever
15.
the original Dread Hollow Forest. Were there really 15 encounters in Caverns Deep?
It might have been 16. It was at least 15.
What was I thinking? That's bonkers.
Yeah, basic idea
6
is
for the-
if you get Dread Hollow Grove, it's like cool. That gives you all the old forest stuff.
Wow.
If you get this, it's like this gives you all the new forest stuff.
So
basically.
it's pretty much all the new forest stuff with a heavy focus on open ground because you can clutter up the open ground with a bunch of stuff. Oh, I didn't feel that teardrop. But you can't unclutter, right? The floor that has the chunks built into it, you can't declutter it. So you can always add clutter, but you can't take it away. So heavy concentration of the open floors. It's got a really good mix of, it's got the original Dread Hollow floor, the heavy and light. It's got the trails from Wildlands. It's got the 3x6s and the 3x3s and the swamp style 3x3s, and then a bunch of the open clearings. It's got all the stump lumps. No, it's got the forest. I take it all back. What did I actually put here? It's got just the forest stump lumps. It's got a couple of the plants, right? It's got Real Arte's shimmer fronds are in here, and the Fey Wellspring, all the little bits, right? What is this? The
Razorvine tangle.
Razorvine
Strangle.
Stranglevine, Razorvines, Viscolids. There's a fun bit. This was fun. I'd never actually done this, I don't think, or I don't remember doing this. So it's like, if you take the, well, let's zoom in. If you take the spike pit teardrop insert and throw the burrows, whatever, you have like the cool spike pit in the bottom of the. Oh, I don't know why I'd never actually done that before. At least I can't remember doing it before. So
Now it's a little
still
harder to
discovering
climb
new
out.
tricks. Plus, you can put him over this guy. Look at this. Right there is another one. Ah! These pits, like, these never get old. What else about this thing? We've got the full teardrop insert set in here, so you have all these different teardrop options. And then I don't remember where the crescent rock comes from. Got seal of binding, magnetic accessory in there.
Was Crescent Rock, is there a rocky elevation in there?
No, because it doesn't have the Titan's Tooth base. So I think it might be one of the new. Oh, it's the new set that needs a name. Scattery Wargame Bits.
Scattery Wargame Bits. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Keep it.
It's a shipper. Yeah. So it's got, because it's got some hedges, right? Those are from the thing. And,
Yeah, perfect.
What else? What questions do we have?
No new sculpts, but any new texture mats like a forest floor or mountain mud?
No, because then we have to get sample prints and we got to garden. Like we don't have the time. We got to get this thing up and live.
But those are the sorts of things that are easier to do as a straight to store thing if we wanted to as
Yeah.
well. So we initially, like when it was brought up, we were like, oh, that'd be really nice, but you know, the time it takes to do that.
We have all the peg base modular trees, so you can swap out once again if you've got Dread Hollow. You can then mix and match your deciduous with these guys.
We're planning to. So also one thing we should say, the plan is for these bundles to be made up of sets that we're going to have available as soon as the campaign opens. There are some things like if you're looking for like the freestanding trees, like the Quildren or whatever, we're looking at those sets being like stretch goals that we unlock. Like, cool, if we get enough funding, if it's like, okay, cool, like we're gonna be all right, then we can add that to the restock order. But we're trying to start with really just kind of like core building blocks. Just basically like the basic stuff that you need to get each biome going at the very start. Is there a way to transition from streets to forest floors?
That is a wonderful question, and the answer is not currently, but have you heard about Hightown? Because
Also
that's
like
going to
ledges.
happen at some point, Hightown. And they're that's yeah. We've been talking about street transitions. Yeah.
Do you guys have an idea of what enough funding means yet?
No.
We're still looking. That's part of the thing that we're also like still looking at is we're talking to the factory and we're getting the numbers. Yeah.
Street banks. I don't know what the street transition is yet, but it's something we were talking about for Hightown, for sure.
Currently, what you can do is you can use the forest banks or ledges to do that. You can either like have it go down like on the side of like the street or like alley tiles or whatever to then go down into the forest if you'd like. Like
Yeah.
that's currently like the best option we have.
It's not pretty, but you can do it. Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean,
If your players complain about it, they can find another table.
for sure. But like, yeah, we're looking at expanding streets a little in Hightown and figuring out what are the It's been a long time since we've done anything like that. And that Imperial Streets is a really cool set. How are some ways we can integrate it with the rest of the Dwarven Forge world?
This is 1100. Yeah, this is ballparking around 1100. We're pretty sure as long as something in pricing doesn't blow up. But yeah, the goal for all these bundles is we want them all to be around the same. So they're all like between 11 and 1200 right now, and we're not sure if we're gonna just like knock them all down to an even 1100 or if it's gonna let them be different prices. We're not sure yet. We're still figuring out what that looks like.
Some dark magic and
That's 24 by 18, correct?
yes.
Yeah.
No, 20, 30.
30. Yeah.
Right,
That's over
it's
2 feet wide.
6, 12, 18, 24. Wait, I don't know how to count. 24 was 27.
Okay, so it's a little over.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. 4 and a half, 6 inches.
18.
So 4 and a half, 6 inches is
It's
27
like, yeah, it's 27. Okay.
by 18.
Yeah. 27 by 18. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
roughly heart size. It's a bit different focus. Like this doesn't have any of the ledges or banks in it.
Nope.
But also, all those component sets are going to be available, and the main goal with this was to make it blend with.
It's just a toolbox, right? You
Yeah.
can just all the basic forest stuff. If you want sculpted forest, like, cause we'll have a bundle of all the scatter, right? Mega tree. Chris put together like the mega tree pack and like all mega scatter packs, whatever. But this is just like, hey, you want sculpted forest? You want the thing? This boom, this gets you everything, and then you mix this with Dreadhollow Grove, and you got everything. Yeah.
For people to complain that there are not enough dark trees, they're all the green ones at the moment.
Dark trees? You mean like the evil trees?
It's a roof. It's a roof joke.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's a good joke. When the kinds you have to explain.
Is there a landmark option? So we're trying not to overcomplicate with a bunch of different bundles, but we're looking at like trying to get like some collections that are around the $400-ish mark, that are things like basically like here's every one of the like stump lump and tree topper packs.
Here's all the trees.
With like a bit of a discount. Here's like all of the kind of rocky scatter pieces with a bit of a discount. Here's all the we're trying to have like stuff like that.
Yep.
But yeah, approximate unpainted discount. So these should be like store prices basically.
These should be like par for store prices.
Yeah.
Other than we're figuring out what's the discount and or incentive. Like what do we?
Yeah.
What do we do?
And we're looking at having like some smaller. So the main thing is like in terms of like making like small starter collections or whatever. One, we've got the starter sets in the store, and they're not moving particularly well, and those are like around 150. And really, if we're talking about making like new layouts or whatever, like that's basically 2 or 3 add-on packs.
Yep.
Like, so at that point, it's like, what do we do at that point? That's different, I think like the starter stuff is like pick up like a couple component sets.
The challenge with specifically the challenge with forest is if you have sculpted floors, there is no affordable entry point, right? As soon as you have sculpted outdoor thing of any size, it's very expensive. If you do a battle mat or a battle board or a terrain tray and escarpments or stump lumps and trees, then you get something there.
Because the other thing too
so we
is
have
like
those options too,
compared to like Dungeons and Caverns, like you don't really make small rooms with wilderness, so it's hard to go like it's hard to do things like like a Zoltar's game room with Wilderness, because the whole thing is this is about. So at low price points, basically, you're talking about scatter.
It's Zoltar's collection of trees and plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just builds
Yeah.
differently than
Yep.
Dungeons and Caverns, so we can't really do $200 like
Yes.
core rooms.
But here's
really.
the thing: it's all made up of smaller component sets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 floor sets in here, and 1, 2, 3 tree sets, and a plant set, and a rock set, and a teardrop set, and whatever. There's 12 component sets in this thing or whatever. So it'd be the same. Like you can just buy the component sets that you want if you want. You don't want the whole kit.
And that's another thing that we're gonna like try doing there as well. Is like the nice thing about GameFound's layout is instead of us needing to have pledge levels, instead of it running off of pledge levels the way the Kickstarter does, what it is you make your pledge by saying like, yeah, I want that thing and that thing and that thing, add it to my cart, and that makes your pledge. So we can have those add-on sets there, and you can say, and we'll have like sample builds and stuff that show you like this is how this stuff goes together. We're gonna have getting started videos for each biome.
Yep.
So you can look at it and go like, okay, so these are the pieces that I want. So I'm gonna get like these 3 packs because really I want to just kind of supplement the existing stuff that I have with these things. And you can literally just make your pledge out of putting those 3 sets in your cart.
Yeah.
Which is partially what makes this platform good for trying to do restock pre-orders like this.
And hopefully easy to navigate, and it's all baked into this thing. And I don't know, that's what's gonna be fun. Is we're gonna test it out and see what happens, and see if it works, see how friendly it is, and we're gonna get your feedback. Oh, speaking of which, forgot about we gotta do our post Kickstarter survey once after people have done their stretch goal choosing.
Yeah.
So we still got time, but
Yeah, we got so much stuff to
yay!
get through.
I gotta send Slack a reminder to myself.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
And also, I don't know, this is just this setup in general. Yeah, a big goal here is also to make it a lot more accessible than it was the first time around in the Kickstarter. And I think the different layout is going to be helpful. And I think the not having to wait a year and a half to get it will help. And I think also the fact that these pieces exist now and you can see them being used in Critical Role, and like there's no risk that like these pieces aren't going to work. Like they're out, they're
maybe
working.
Maybe you already have some and you want to get more, or maybe you heard about it, or we'll see what happens. Any other questions about Forest before we go into the swamp? Swamp.
Not really seeing much about the Forest build itself now.
Yeah, the ruins are not in here. We're just doing the wildernessy bits because ruins are on the way.
Yeah, Grumpy, that's exactly it. Like we can't really do like a Wildlands core set that is like around the price point of the other things.
Not even
that.
close.
Like that's what you're talking about is a scatter collection, and we are going to have stuff like that. Because it's just the nature of like that's just how wilderness. It's just how wilderness builds, like compared to a dungeon or a cavern. Same reason that like city core sets look different than dungeon and cavern core sets. They just build differently. The reason why runes aren't in the Kickstarter is because we already ordered all of them to come in a restock in October, so they're already coming in. Which is also why Titan's Tooth won't be in this, because it's also already coming in that restock. So yeah.
Yeah, there are a few things that are.
There were some
already
things
in
that
the-
we ordered before we decided to do this campaign, and it's like, well, I guess we don't need to include those things
Well,
then.
there's that.
Which is good because we're needing to like keep the set count down for this campaign.
I can't get the whole.
Wow, that's
swamp
big.
in here.
That's swamps, baby. Swamps are about expansive coverage.
So, yeah, what was the thing you said? Mountains are high, forests are dense,
Mountains
swamps
are
are expansive.
Yeah, mountains are vertical, swamps are expansive, forests are dense. Basically.
So, this is 6'12", 1 foot, 2 foot.
It's 2 swamp mats, right?
No, it's that would be too easy.
Is it 3 swamp mats?
3
What did you
foot. It's 3 feet 3 inches. I overlapped them.
So it is 2 swamp mats.
So I did
Just-
2 different builds with this bundle. Oh wait, I'm backwards. Hang on, I want to go to the other side. The other side looks better.
You put it in backwards.
Geez, what was I thinking? I did 2 different builds with this. One was on a 2 foot by 4 foot and then this one I compressed it a little bit. So I did one that was like islands. That was 2 foot.
That's
by
another
4
thing
foot.
we're trying to do is having alt builds of these pledges. Forest is the hardest one to do that with because you're kind of tied to the layout based on just like the sculpted floors. But with swamp banks being so negative space based, and with the mountain one that you'll see, they're very flexible. Like you can actually rearrange them into a lot of different setups. And so we're hoping to show them in a lot of different contexts. With oh no,
Dwarvenite, baby.
yeah. Are you gonna make sure the swamp mats don't come with tiny half dowels inside? Yeah, on a reorder, we're gonna be like, hey guys, can you please package these differently?
Yeah, and we're gonna do
That was the funniest
quarter length dowels.
I can't believe it's still so funny to me that they like packed them that way, and we're like, yeah, this is fine.
It's it's the Stonehenge bit from Spinal Tap. Where
Yeah.
it was the centimeters versus inches thing or something.
It's just such a funny thing. Like you would think that yeah.
Like we got this 2 foot mat. Let's get a tube that's a foot long and put it in there, and it'll be great. It's totally
at least use 2 foot long tubes.
There's your
like if you really don't have 2 foot tubes, then do 2 1 foot long tubes.
Yeah.
There's
ways to solve this with the same piece you already have. Modular tubes. We'll do it anyway.
So we don't want to talk about sci-fi yet.
Yeah. Hey. So that was a bean. This is shy of. It's like 9 inches shy of 2 feet by whatever it was 3. Whatever I said 3 feet 3.
Yeah, it's a little over 3.
3. Something.
Well, the that way isn't 3, but that way is over 3.
Well, this way is 2. This way is
2 by like 3.3. Yeah, something like that.
So this has. Oh, and I think actually these guys have to come out. The Fellborn plants are not included because we already reordered them. So
yeah, they're actually coming in the restock. So we're gonna.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what else was in
We're
there.
talking about like something else to like put in instead of the Fellborn plants in that one.
I'll leave them in for right now. But this basically has banks galore, right? It's got.
That's my drag name.
Yeah, it's got potentially a new banks pack. We're still pushing around the swamp stuff, but it's got the rivers bank pack, the ponds bank pack. Maybe this new Winding River bank pack. One other bank pack, I think. What else? It doesn't have the basic. Maybe it's just. Oh, and the swells. It's got the Dying Forest tree toppers. It's got the swamp stump lumps. It's got the original forest stump lumps. It's got the rocky elevation pack, so it's got like the big old Titan's Tooth base in there as part of that. It's got the new pack that he's named Floaty Bits, which has something like the floaty log.
We're gonna keep that name.
Floaty Bits. I mean, how do you have it? Some extra lily pads.
Let's call it floaters.
It's got the swamp trees. It's going to have 2 mats, so you can do 2 foot by 4 feet or collapse it a little like this. What else was in here? I think that's it so far. I don't know. This one also pricing wildly in flux, so maybe we're going to put some others because we also take the plants out and whatever. But the idea is something like this. So it is. Oh, and there's all these leftover pieces on the side. I don't know if you can see. We've got a bunch of of these.
That's the wrong book.
Ooh, perfect. Ooh. We got the big convexes. Pair those in a bunch of little convexes. So what happened was, it's a pretty versatile collection of banks. So when I did the islands one, we had a bunch of concaves left over, and when we did this sort of circular one, it's all banks within the negative space in the middle. We've got a bunch of the convexes left.
You want to rebuild it into that other configuration right now, live on air? Don't.
Sure.
Don't. We got to get to the mountain too.
What time? That'll be. You know what? That's our bonus. That's our stretch goal. If we got time left, we'll read out the other thing.
Okay.
But basically, the idea is it's a toolbox of banks so that you can do a neat combination. Any sort of combination of rivers or ponds or islands, as well as. You combine this with the forest that you just saw, and you're off to the races. Now you've got everything. Because this got swamp floors too. This has 2 sets of the swamp floors, so there's a whole bunch of these, the swampity 3x3s. So it pairs really nicely with a forest. What else we have in there? That's we got banks. These are
Black and Blue Mark says this is bigger than a heart set. Yeah. So basically, because we're focusing so much on just the building blocks, like it doesn't have some of like the like it doesn't. I think the heart had like a. Did it have a crab lily and stuff in it? It had like more of like it had more of like the show pieces in it. Since we're not really putting the show pieces in these bundles, we have more room for like bread and butter to still hit like a similar price point. Right. But then if the campaign does well, those showpieces will still be available as add-ons. So if you do want to get those those things, like you can then just like go and add it to your cart. Yeah. Yeah, it had a showpiece. Was just looking at it. Yeah, like the hearts still had. They took out like the battle boards and terrain trays and stuff and just focused on sculpted stuff. But it had like set pieces. It had like the Oblivion Nexus and Titan's Tooth and stuff in it. This is a bonkers amount of coverage for 1,000. Yep, that's what we're trying to show. The mats are included in this one, or they're okay.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Otherwise, you can't do. First of all, the mats are not very expensive.
They're pretty
$26 a piece or something. So it's like $50. What the heck? And they give you so much utility. Like the banks you really want some cool negative space. There's nothing faster, nothing looks cooler. You throw this down, boom, and you build and go. So it seems like the other ones we wouldn't include.
The basic goal is like if you get any of these like hero pledges in like in the biome, it's like we want it to be enough to let you just do like a ton of different builds in that biome. You should be able to grab this like $1,000 like pack and then be like, cool, I am set on like the basic building pieces.
It's the toolbox.
Making a bunch of these. Yeah,
everything you need,
exactly.
Right? You get extra stumps, stump toppers left over and stuff. So once again, it'll go nicely, really nicely. If you get the forest, you'll have a bunch of extra stump toppers here, plus the variety of trees, right? It doesn't have it has minimal overlap. We've got the 2 cypress and the willow in here. There's 2 cypress and willow in there. There's a bunch of conifers in there that aren't in here, and it's got all the dead trees that aren't in there, and then you have the perfect collection of all toolboxes. Is really right. Just going for toolboxes that can make a bunch of cool stuff.
I know the answers for the trays and the boards. With the mats, did we grids, gridless? Where are we sitting at on that?
That is a damn fine question.
We have not
a darn fine question.
Had that discussion. Okay. Better. There's children.
Yeah.
In next door, about to start another photo session.
What did the fish say when he hit his head? Damn.
Oh. Okay. Well, I was gonna try to figure it out. I should have had it immediately.
He ran into it. Damn. I mean, I just said the punchline. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's what the heck were we just talking about? Oh, the grids. I don't know. That's a good question. I think we'll probably offer the gridded. Here's the thing. On these swamp mats, pretty good. The grid is really subtle, and it also helps me build. But I don't know. That's a good question because we can actually get these to line up. This is the only thing we can do gridded and ungridded.
Yeah, it's the only time. It's the only thing where we weren't having issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That's a discussion to have.
It's a good. You know what? It's a good.
Also, just might be. I don't know. Maybe we can offer variant and do both. Who knows?
Well,
maybe that'll make Tyler pull his hair out, which would be a huge loss. He has great hair.
He does, especially that mustache.
He's like phenomenal. Yeah.
No joke. He can grow a beard just by sneezing. He can grow a beard in a day like that. It would take me like a year. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good question about grids. That's why we're on the show. So you can ask us good questions that we don't know the answers. I like it. What else about Swamp before we go look at the?
Most people are just saying like, oh, that's a lot of coverage.
Yeah, it is. Well, then we can expand it out to 2x4 and do an island, and we'll see that. That'll be our fun stretch goal adventure for this. Which one was this thing with us? We got to figure out what else to put in for plants since we lost the Fellborn.
Yeah, I've got some thoughts, but better to save them for after stream.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow.
Or
better for me to just shut up and let Tyler do it.
That's also a really good answer.
It's also a thing.
Maybe in life. Yeah.
I know every time I like come into like cool. So we had a discussion. We had a discussion without you about changing the core of the thing you're responsible for. Yeah. No, it's great. He loves that.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
What's a good giveaway word?
Ooh.
Just in general.
Are you asking for a friend? Is it,
I'm asking for a
yeah.
friend.
We don't actually need one. I don't know. What's our theme been tonight? Have we? Has it been a thematic evening? Have we?
I'm trying to remember like what's even happened. Breath of the Wild, Reforged, Swampy. Well, we're on Swamp now. New boot goofing. What does
What's
that
new?
mean?
That's it. I don't know what it is, but it's great.
Why this baby not sleep? I don't know where people are getting a lot of this stuff, which I think just that naked blue guy. Oh, there we go.
The naked blue guy.
Well, we just do Manhattan would probably be easier to make people type.
No,
Well,
Naked
naked blue guy's still
better.
pretty
Yeah.
easy. Naked blue guy.
That's if they put the Watchmen on Family Guy. He'd be naked blue guy. They have a greased up naked guy. Or something
If you guys want a chance to win a $50 Dwarven Forge gift card that you can use in the web store, type naked blue guy in chat. All just one word. Any Big Fat Liar fans in the audience? Remember Big Fat Liar?
blue guy. You know, no, I don't even know what that is.
It was a Frankie Muniz and I think Hilary Duff movie.
Yeah.
Back when they were both a thing. It was okay.
The what did I say? I was like, I don't know if we're gonna make it through the show. We were saying before the thing, but for whatever reason, you know, it seems to be a recurring theme. Chris
It was
and I are
Amanda
tired.
Bynes.
What is it?
It was Amanda Bynes, not Hilary Duff. Yeah. Yeah, naked blue guy, all one
Naked
word.
blue guy. With a
You're eligible no matter where you
with a
live.
particle man symbol on his forehead.
Yeah.
That's how my insider's over here.
God, I should do that Photoshop because it's the thing they make a guy like dye himself blue, and I should just go in there and I should just Photoshop the atom symbol on his head. Atom symbol. It's a hydrogen symbol. I should just Photoshop that on his head, and just see if anybody remembers this movie.
On which guy?
The guy that they dye blue in Big Fat Liar.
Ah. See, you could start a meme, an internet thing.
I could start a meme. Other than the Todd Howard one that blew up again a couple days ago because of the Starfield Direct.
What? Don't explain the internet to me. It's too like I'm better off not knowing.
The most relevant I've ever been is I made a dumb meme video that was supposed to be an inside joke for friends, and it has over 750,000 views.
Wow.
And every couple
You've
months.
got a lot of friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it has far outstripped any of the work that means something
Things
to me.
that you actually put your heart and soul into.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yep.
That's ask NBC Charles is here, right? You ask anybody that's a content creator, right? That's the worst, right? You just like the thing that you care about is there, and then you just still throw away this thing on the side, and that's the thing people go, yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. What do we
what are we giving away? Oh, what do we?
$50 Dwarven Forge gift card. It is a gift card you can use in our
Naked
web
Blue
store.
Guy is your answer.
Yeah, you type naked blue guy, and that will give you an insurance to win.
We're not gonna make it to the show. I don't know.
I don't think we're gonna make it.
It's okay. It's okay. They've seen enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
In fact, you know what?
They don't need to see this third bundle.
Why don't we go? Why don't we go get the third bundle? They can talk amongst themselves about who's gonna win and stuff and
Behave.
Yeah, whatever. We'll go get the. How are we gonna actually get this? We gotta put this. Hang on.
Just take that tabletop off.
Yeah, take this one off. Oh, we'll take it off in there,
Okay.
and then we'll. I'm taking the skirt off.
Guys, it's gonna take both of us, unless Hamster's there, I guess.
Still working.
You guys
on the
gotta behave while we're out.
All right, so don't do anything crazy while we're gone. It'd be awesome if anybody just like shows up to the stream and it's just like an empty frame and the chat's going and there's nothing happening.
Why don't I just go to? Hang on, where's the?
We'll be back. No.
Oh, what is the?
Ow.
Is it this one? All right. Okay, so now you can actually see what it actually looks like. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, welcome
Now
back.
you can see what it actually
Did
looks like.
anybody
on
win
the...
anything while we were gone? Oh, you can't even see it. Hang on, we gotta get this camera. Hey, wait,
we gotta.
gotta.
This is a big build compared to the
Yeah,
others. All right, let's see. Gotta take the camera higher.
Yeah, go up, up, up.
Can we get
Boop.
much higher?
I got this guy. We need more light.
We really should have set this one up first.
That would have been too logical, Chris. Who does that? All right, so I guess we should say the first one is has anybody heard of Shatterpoint?
Yeah.
Because we might have a few of their pieces on here. Look at that paint job. Chris did those.
They have not been painted yet.
Yeah,
We might need to rotate the...
well, we're going to rotate around as we get.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so...
Because we're looking at it from, like, the angle it's not meant to be viewed from.
Well, because that was the best. I did the same thing with the forest. You're going backwards for a swamp. We're going backwards first to get people excited about.
Is the beer included? Yes. That'll be the incentive.
Oh, we're
That's
going
what
to
we're
start Dwarven
If you back the Game Found campaign instead of getting it in the store, we'll send you a case of beer.
That's a good plan. And one lucky winner will
Quote
come to
me
their
on it.
house and drink the beer with them. Or drink their beer for them.
Yeah, if there's anything that's been good for us in the past, it's been promising doing
to
things
people's
in
houses
person with backers.
And drinking, yeah. We'll send Stefan to their house to drink their beer.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, this is Breath of the Mountain.
Wild tears.
Tears of the Mountain.
Look at this, you got a lazy suit.
My favorite Zelda game, Tears of Rapper. Does anybody know that Flight of the Conchord song?
No.
I feel like it's not one of their better known ones.
I've got wheel issues.
Wheels not included. Oh, well, you got the... Don't pull the...
There we go. Okay. All right. It's a good thing there wasn't a beer precariously balanced on the bundle. There we go. All right. So,
All right.
First, two things to note. This does not come with the battle boards, and this does not come with the Shatterpoint terrain made by Atomic Mass. What is it?
Atomic Mass Games developed, and I think
TM.
Asmodee published.
published it.
Atomic developed, I think.
It does not come with the Shatterpoint or the thing. What Chris was doing, so the big wow factor was Chris put together this bundle and then built out this thing, built out a full Warhammer board, built out a cool 2x2 RPG, like 3 levels of escarpment, all with the same collection of bits to show, hey, you can do a bunch of stuff with these things.
Which is why the ground layer is not included, because the goal is to show, like, hey, this collection of pieces can do this on a 2x2, this on a 3x3, this on a 4x4. And we did like the biggest one was we did like a 4x6 like Warhammer build, I think.
Yeah. So this is integrated with the Shatterpoint stuff to give you a sense of what a 3x3 skirmish style.
The reason the Shatterpoint version is set up right now is because I'm gonna teach people how to play it tomorrow.
Tomorrow on this build.
On this build, because we're gonna test it out and make sure it actually works the way I think it'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Because what's neat is Shatterpoint has all this verticality based on 3-inch chunks, and then the objectives are centered on every square in the 9 squares. So it's like really conducive to using our terrain in fun ways, at least in theory. In principle, we will find out tomorrow when Chris runs it.
So. Yeah. Still need to paint up the Shatterpoint terrain, but you know.
So this has. Escarpments galore, TM. We got.
So it's a lot of escarpments.
It is.
I've got
escarped.
and so.
So we've got basically the convexes, the concaves, the straights. Is there one advanced? There's 2 convexes, right? With the big. Yeah, there's 4 of these guys. So guess what? There's a lot of big beefy boys in here. Mm-hmm. Right, because we all love the big beefy boys. So there's 2 sets. So the new sets that Chris and Tyler put together are basically there's 2 of everything in each set. So there's 2 sets of 2 of these guys. So you got 4 of these guys. You got the is there one basic builder?
There's 3 basic builders.
3?
3 basic builders, 1 advanced builder, 1 of the large straights, 1 of the large concaves, 2 of the large convexes, and then 1 of the concave pack, which we might
The
need to think of a
cave.
different name for.
It might be confusing now. Yeah.
And then it's 2 Aranthor mountain floor packs.
Which are up here, bumps, so you can fill these things
Yeah.
out. Some stilts.
1 Crag's Bridge,
Oh, you're reading from it. I thought you were...
2 Driftstone packs, and 1 Wyverstone scatter pack.
So you get a whole bunch of scatter. You get all the escarpments you can do. You get some floors so you can do some fun, you seal up your escarpments, do fun bits.
And so the goal with this is basically to have, I think the 2x2 will probably be the product image, and then we'll have this set up with like Shatterpoint minis on it to show like a game in action, so that if you know Shatterpoint, you look at it, you're like, oh, this is what this bundle will do to my table if I'm doing a Shatterpoint game.
This is what you'll do to my table.
And then having that 2x2 like product build, and then putting like minis for D&D on it, and showing like this is what it'll look like if we're fighting a dragon, like in this build. And the 4x4.
It would be a great build to fight a dragon in.
Yes.
There's a
Well,
lot of
the
cool
wyvern
verticals.
specifically, like, is kind
Yeah.
of made for it.
Yeah.
And then and when Hamster and I were building the variations of this, we were just then grabbing the minis and building it out and seeing, because when we did like the 4x4 like smaller game, like 1,000-point Warhammer game, on it, like once you put the actual minis down, it's like, oh, this is a full table. Like,
Yeah.
so I think that's the main thing. And I wish we had time to just build out all the variations here right now, but it would be a lot.
Well, seeing like whatever 2,000 points of hamsters orcs out painted a thing was pretty exciting.
On the 4x6, yeah.
It was really cool.
So yeah, and that's the general thing here. And then like the 2x2 version is more the mountains stacked on top of each other to go very high. No,
What was the
I
question?
I disagree, Paul. That's not the approach. But yeah, so 2x2 build, it'll be roughly the same size as the forest build, except vertical, at like the same price point. And then just kind of showing how, the main thing is to show that like you can do all these different builds with this one collection.
Well, that was the best thing. Like this set of escarpments is so versatile. You can just like, I mean, you banged out 4 different builds that all felt different with the same collection of stuff, and it was awesome.
And this is just the
And
one
use
that's
case.
built out right now. Yeah.
Who's playing tomorrow on this?
Miles and Mace, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah, assuming that they both show up and are ready.
They'll show up.
Yeah. I know
Where
Miles.
there's
I know
war to
Miles
be
will
had,
there.
Mace will be there.
That's fair. So
And Miles is always here.
Yeah.
So.
that's the thing we're going to try to do with a lot of this is just take a bunch of different photos showing the builds in different situations, and then like actually showing them like in use is like the main thing.
Yep. How you use them
Cool.
on the
Well,
table.
Paul, we're going to have that. Like this is just like a different build.
Yeah. There's like,
Yeah.
what's fun is this can do a whole bunch of things. So that's what we're going to do with all of them, is to have all different, say, hey, you could take the same set and build this, or build this, or build this, or anything that your imagination can imagine, as
Yeah.
imaginations do. So in this case,
Oh,
this
Naked
is
Blue
the
Guy.
thing
That's
that
right.
Chris is literally using tomorrow.
I should do the. We should roll the giveaway. Forgot.
Oh yeah, Naked Blue Guy.
I'm gonna roll it in like 15 seconds. You can make a really deep canyon, and that's what the 2x2 build is. The 2x2 build is 2 tall mountain peaks with like a ravine between, and then like
cool.
using the drift stones and the cracks bridge and stuff to have ways to go between the peaks, basically,
All the same pieces. All
Yes.
look radically different.
with all the same pieces.
Yeah.
And then the wider you go. Yeah, I'm gonna roll the giveaway in like 15 seconds.
Naked
AJ,
Blue
if you just got here,
Guy.
if you type in "naked blue guy," all one word, that is going to be the giveaway word, and I'll be rolling the giveaway in like a couple seconds.
We don't have pictures queued up for the other builds, but we'll have it all.
We don't
you know,
have them queued up for this,
when
but
we
we will.
When everything's locked and ready, and we go to the game plan, we'll do alternates of all this stuff. Ideally, we're gonna have at least 3 builds of each.
Yeah, because the nice
Bundle.
thing about the GameFound setup as well is we'll be able to have all of the sets there, like in the collection on the page. And when you click on them, it'll bring up like a product listing that will look a lot like the store listing, and we can have multiple pictures, and we can even like embed a little like video and stuff in there, and like have a
It's gonna be
description and stuff
awesome.
like that. So we can have like photos of like that bundle built out in different ways with like little text that says this is it over a 3x3, this is over a 2x2, that sort of deal.
Can we have a naked blue guy?
Probably.
Woo!
We can paint one up.
Speaking of which, can we roll it?
Yes, let's roll that giveaway. There's
Naked
been enough
blue
time.
guy.
And Drum Slam.
Congrats.
Oh, Cloudy Dungeon got in right after. Oh no.
Aw.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Drum Slam. Congratulations. I'm gonna send you a DM on here real quick, and all you gotta do is let me know what email your store account's under in a response, and we will get it set up for you. Perfect. Okay, there's a question. Are there plans to do new or update videos for Reforged in the same vein as what y'all did with Lowtown?
Yes.
We're planning to do, basically we're planning to do the getting started videos for each of these 3 biomes as the,
The example sets in those-
as the,
We're going to use these bundles
God, I'm brain farting.
and
It's way too hot in
component
here.
sets as in the getting started with videos.
so, and basically like the big builds at the end of the getting started videos will be these bundles.
Yep.
And the examples of like how to build with those biomes will be using the component sets that we're going to have in the campaign and stuff like that.
You know, we could, like, obviously, depending on time, it wouldn't be nuts to have a video walkthrough of the bundle and say, hey, here's something you could build with the swamp. Oh, and here's 2 quick walk through kind of the pieces and say, hey, here's 2 other things you could build with it.
Well,
assuming we have time.
the plan is to have that at the end of the getting started videos, and then we can clip that out and put it on
Right,
the
it
listing
becomes
for
its own
them.
thing.
Yeah.
This is a fun little trick Chris did. So he took the bottom of the concave, used the paired pegs to connect it between the 2 crags and with the crags bridge. So it's like an extra.
There's so
ridiculously long bridge.
there's so many connections on that on that chunk that you're holding right now. There's like then a drift stone in the crag with a perch then connected onto the drift stone.
Well, I mean, that was right. The goal with the set was to make as many places as possible to connect things, so you have a lot of ways to build.
Yeah.
And I think it's working. People have them, and they're getting to do it. This is a fun, right? The drift stone with a suspended perch piggybacking. It's neat.
This is the Ad Astra build. Yeah. So yeah. There was something else. Where was it? What if you put the parts list ahead of time? I bet folks in the community have those. Could submit a fan build gallery.
Oh.
I'm curious. There are definitely people who have the.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah, there are definitely people who have the escarpments to do this.
Yeah.
9 battle boards? Yeah, I used 9 battle boards on this. I basically was just using battle boards as a ground cover for like measuring like this amount of space. Because with Shatterpoint says play on a 3x3 space. So we used the 9 battle boards to do a 3x3. But the plan is not to include any of the ground coverage with this bundle because we want it to be able to be a bunch of different sizes. And you can either get the ground cover as add-ons if you would like. Or you can use
buy
your,
that.
yeah, or you
you
can
want
use your
terrain
existing
trays?
mats.
Buy that. You already have some. Use that. Like, give them the option because the ground coverage gets really expensive and it's divisive, right? Some people are like, sculpted only. Some people are battle boards for the win. Some people, I don't want anything. I have it all.
And so also because of that, Tyler was like looking at like what would the like trifecta ledge companion bundle be if you wanted to get enough ledges to like work with this. So he was looking at like possibly providing that as well. So if you wanted to do this all built in line.
If you wanted to connect this to the forest build, you could do that, or connect this to the swamp build. That's the other thing we didn't talk about. Right, there'll be a bundle, the Uber Mega bundle that takes all the big bundles and puts them all together. You know, I bet the Uber Mega bundle should include the trifectas too, because then it's the perfect toolkit. It's got everything. It then has all the stuff you need.
What we really need to do is just take a day to build it out.
Yep.
And that'll tell us.
I mean, we have all the pieces pulled.
Is this exterior sci-fi? No. So the
Shatterpoint.
extra terrain that's there is I was testing out how this would work with Shatterpoint. So I took the terrain from the core set of Shatterpoint, and we're gonna play on it tomorrow to make sure it works.
This is literally to play for playing tomorrow.
Yes. And the Shatterpoint terrain's not painted up yet. I need to do that before we
It's space
shoot
gray.
anything with it. Yeah. We'll be doing some extra streams during the GameFound campaign. I don't think we're going to be doing daily streams like a normal Kickstarter, but we will be doing extra streams
Everyone here,
while the game's going.
Matt's probably streamed every day for like a week. Anybody else here has streamed like every day nonstop? It turns out it's tiring while you're doing other stuff too.
It got real hot in here.
Yeah.
I hate how inconsistent the AC is.
Oh, it just decides to
It will
just
get
not
super-
work.
it will
for
get
hours.
super
It gets
chilly in
either
here, and
cold
then
or
it will,
hot.
like-
There's no like
yeah.
it's never actually comfortable.
So yeah, this isn't our sci-fi stuff. Although we did have a team presentation on the sci-fi earlier today, and it's looking very good. And we're going to be ready to show it to people in the next couple months.
Yeah.
It's looking very good. So yeah,
It does not look like this.
my Lancer game's hunger. Yes.
Ah.
The first thing I texted like Tyler while we were during the presentation. I was like, I want to play Lancer on this really bad. Star Wars Shatterpoint 40mm war game. Yeah, that's also why this bundle is focused on doing exterior builds and like building this in a way where like it is playable with midis of that size.
Gilded Poison film 9 graduations in a week. I'm
Yeah.
exhausted just thinking about that. The show's over.
Really glad. I'm really glad I don't have to do those kinds of games anymore. Honestly, when I used to film like weddings and sweet 16s and stuff, and like
Yeah.
it's exhausting. I despise it. Yeah. So that's the main thing is trying to put these in the context of you actually using them on your table as much as possible.
Yes.
So providing examples of like, this is what it looks like being used with Shatterpoint. This is what it looks like being used with Warhammer. This is what it looks like being used in D&D.
And the variety, right? Here's the cool ravine with like 3 levels high escarpments. Here it is really wide on a big 60 by 44.
Yeah. Mountains downscale well too, just using with my 10mm
Yes.
train sets. Yeah. Because it's like, at no point do you go like, mountains don't get that high. Or like, yeah.
You can never have enough box of rocks.
Yeah.
You just,
Mountains are probably the most flexible when it comes to scale. Yeah.
I love me box of rocks.
Let's see. Is there any other questions that we've got?
And then we can go to Swamp Build Challenge.
Oh yeah, just do the island
Yeah.
platforming swamp build. We could probably. Well, let's see.
One boo under through them all.
Red rock paint variant.
Oh,
Maybe someday.
that would be awesome. But we're basically nothing new. Our motto for Reforged is nothing new, so we can get it to you super early.
That would actually be a fun extra painting video to do. The way that we did like the fall paint scheme
Yeah.
for Dread Hollow, we could do that and
I
just
mean-
have like an unofficial, like we don't actually provide it, but like if you want to do this yourself, here's how.
Honestly, a campaign, a GameFound campaign for Wildlands Gone Wild, like alternate paint schemes for Wildlands stuff, right? Autumnal forest, the bleakest swamp, and like Red Rocks mountain.
What if we make
would
a
be
swamp sadder?
Extra
was the
double
approach.
sad.
Um,
No, but you could make a really like, blackened, gnarly, like just the scariest, like evilest Shadowfellian swamp.
We need to make
Dude.
sure this one works first, and then.
Oh
we
yeah,
can-
yeah, yeah. No, I like this is not. I'm not saying it would do it, but it would be like fundamentally there's a cool alternate paint scheme for each thing, or you could do mountains with snow or whatever. There's a cool alternate paint scheme that could be done for each thing. That could be a vehicle for its own thing, like an alt paint scheme run would be really fun. Blood Swamp, exactly.
Nice.
When is this happening? We're aiming to launch at Gen Con,
Yeah, we're trying to get it.
first week of August.
We're trying to get it ready in that time.
And so far, we have a perfect track record of always hitting every deadline that we've ever set.
Gen Con 2024, we should.
Yeah, 2027. Really?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's a bit of a tight turnaround, but also we don't have to make a ton of new assets. It's just a couple things that we want to do really well.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's what we're looking at.
Let's go build. Whoa.
Nice.
I ran into the camera. We got insurance in that thing? Hey. All
No,
right.
I don't think any of our stuff's insured.
No.
It's probably fine.
Everything's fine.
We don't do
Totally
anything.
fine.
We don't do
Risky.
anything ridiculous here.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah. We follow the OSHA code at all points in our lives. Right? It's like
There's definitely
like the
not
Pirates code.
There's definitely not a plastic bag
over the
taped
smoke.
around the smoke detector right now. Yeah.
What foolish ruffian would do such a thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Find that fool. Yeah. All right. So, let me put a little bit.
Although we haven't really been doing much that would set it off these
We
days.
haven't been going crazy. We've been really well, low-key behaved.
Yeah, the last time the fire alarm went off, we had to be evacuated. It wasn't even us.
It was totally not. It was the first thing everybody said. It wasn't us, right? It wasn't us. We totally were off the hook, right? It's not us.
It
Not
genuinely
us,
wasn't us, yeah.
It wasn't us.
Is somebody smoking in the bathroom?
So weird.
Like, what are we, 12? Like, yeah.
I'm gonna get a picture. All right.
How's everybody doing tonight, by the way? I forgot to ask.
Is that a thing we normally ask?
That's what we normally ask.
Yeah. Hey.
Usually we devote like a solid half hour of these shows to dating advice.
Oh, we're really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Happy about what I got in the reserve? Oh, yeah. Real way to set off an alarm is by fog machines. Man, that's what they were using their fog machines in the bathroom.
They were smoking fog machines. It was it's ill-advised, but it gets you really high, so it's okay.
This is the Bong Mouse. Is it the Bong Master too? Shame that company went under.
Bong Master 2.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna
Bong Monster. Damn.
Bong.
That's what it was. Fog Bongster?
Instead of Fog Monster.
There's something here. Sample builds really light people's imaginations and wallet. Grabbing communities, swamp, mountain, and forest builds to have on the microsite wouldn't be bad. Yeah, and that's another thing too is we're going into this with you guys have already posted a bunch of builds with this stuff. Two, it's been used on Critical Role. It's been used on Dimension 20. Like we can point to this stuff being out in the wild, showing that it works. And like, do you want this?
Out in the wild.
Which we've never been able to do before because we've always been selling stuff that hasn't existed before.
Yeah.
There's the AC.
Oh, finally. It's like, you summon the babies by talking about babies. You summon the AC. Let's summon, what are we going to summon?
I never heard a baby. So it's like they just walked in and were cackling in that room for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna turn this into islands.
Yeah, we're going to show you in real time. Oh, is this one on a 2x4? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Because that was the thing is we were like, how about we have one where the banks are together to make an island, and then one where it's the opposite, and all the negative spaces in the middle.
Yeah,
And
do the same with the same toolkit. Make sure it's the right toolkit. All right. Ready?
You dropped one
Look at that.
down the front. Wow, that's a really cool
Real
bundle.
time.
That's a great
Well,
build.
banks build fast. That's what's cool about them.
That's a great build.
They always look organic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sort of like it just sort of they build themselves.
Been making my own fog since 17. You only got a fog monster in 2017. Let's see.
All right, so we're gonna make a little island adventure here. All right. I really don't.
Before fog monster, my island adventure. We should do a Monkey Island build.
What's Monkey Island?
You should know Monkey Island. Monkey Island was around when you were a gamer.
When I was a gamer.
They were very early adventure games, King's Quest style.
Ooh.
Secret of Monkey Island.
I know King's Quest.
Guy Threepwood was the protagonist, and they were like treasure hunting style.
Like Leisure Suit Larry.
More goofy. Exactly like he's looking for booty.
Dead on.
He's looking for booty.
Yeah. Hunting for booty and
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were that style. I think it was the same company too. I think it was also a Sierra series. You've explained Monkey Island to Nate several times. Has Monkey Island genuinely come up here before? Woof.
I don't think so.
There's several conversations we've had multiple times on here.
I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, stop trying to explain the internet to me.
It's not the internet. That was like pre-internet games.
The
It was LucasArts. It was
electronic age.
LucasArts. There we go.
Oh, LucasArts.
Yeah. I don't know if you know LucasArts if you don't know Monkey Island.
Yeah, they did Myst. They did what was the side-scrolling one with the tubes?
It's around the same time too. It's wild to me that you don't know Monkey Island because genuinely you're just name dropping a lot of games that were also big around the same time with the same crowds.
Never heard of Monkey Island.
Wild.
It's
Okay.
made up.
All right.
No,
Fine.
no monkeys here, as they say.
You made a Monkey Island out of me. That's the stupidest thing I've said today.
That's where it makes
Yeah.
I think you're setting the bar low.
I've generally been like on fire lately.
says you.
I've had some good ones. I've had some really good ones lately.
Like you want to recount some of your good zingers?
Most of them are not appropriate for this stream.
Facts. No, it is actually uncanny the way that you will reflexively just fire off some ridiculous pun zinger without even like calculating the results. It's just like it just comes out.
Usually I don't
You
even
like can't stop it.
It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Where's the Dwarven Forge After Hours stream? It's the Hobby Hang. It's on Thursdays at 6.
Yeah, it's spicy.
Stuff always, especially when Tyler comes on.
Oh, fired up, coming in hot.
Oh, dude, he always forgets that we're not supposed to swear. That dude just lets loose.
I mean, when you come from a family of 14, you know, it's...
Yeah, it happens.
uh,
Let's see.
what are we going to do? We're going to get him a little...
Oh, hey, speak of the devil.
Was
Hey.
that Tyler?
Hey,
Hey!
you want to drop some f-bombs before you go?
We were talking... No,
Buddy?
don't. We're in the...
Fubar.
Oh, boy.
Float.
That's it.
Fromage.
We were talking about how go to the wide cam so they can see his great hair.
Well,
We were
the
talking
wide
about
cam doesn't have the
your
sound
hair,
active.
Your mustache,
Oh, my mustache,
your
my hair.
manliness,
I can walk
and
over
like
to you if
Yeah, there are better cameras to show that off than the wide cam.
yeah, get the
Just
wide
get
cam.
get
Can't
right in the
capture it.
face.
What's the devil that you needed?
We were just talking about how you're the one that always forgets about language on on Hobby Hang when you're on
that's
stream.
true.
Fact.
Yeah, I will.
I was blaming all your older brothers.
You should.
Yeah.
They are
I-
my family, and yeah, they're the direct cause and effect.
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another good f-bomb.
No. We were telling a lot of good Tyler stories tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
Good.
What else
Yeah.
did come up? Oh, yeah, we were talking. We almost started sharing ideas about how to change the swamp build, and I was like, maybe we should just wait and just
Yeah.
let Tyler know instead of.
Well, no, you guys can come. That's always the thing, right? Come up with the idea. Come up with a thing, and like.
but then go talk to an adult about it.
Like, if it's going to constitute like we have to add these 6 things to be able to do that. That's what it's.
We might need to talk to somebody responsible. Yeah.
So like Dwarvenite Threshold of Worlds is still on, right?
He's just no.
Just like.
Yeah, sing him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you see, look at that, lightning
I'll
wave.
do it. I can't do it without swearing. So.
Yeah,
Then I worry about your sense of humor.
It's true. I don't have a good one
If you can't work clean, you're not a good comedian.
or a good janitor.
Whoa.
That's really good.
I sneak into it sometimes.
Yeah.
But,
Accidentally.
I accidentally get a good zinger every once in a while.
That's really good.
Okay. I was just saying goodbye.
And
well,
that's
I
your
was
I was
dismount.
genuinely trying to quietly say goodbye, even, but.
Oh.
We'd just been talking about you, so like if it
That's
hadn't been
very
that,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I will see you both.
See
Yeah.
you tomorrow.
Bye,
I'm
see you
actually
tomorrow.
I'm gonna work from home in tomorrow.
Okay.
But I will. I'm sure we'll talk about it 47 times,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be delightful.
Well, we got stuff to do.
Yeah.
We always have
Have a good night.
stuff to do.
All right.
Good night, Tyler.
Oh,
Appreciate
man.
you.
So I guess here's a question.
Here's an answer.
For people who are looking forward to this campaign,
Me.
what is it that you are looking forward to? Do you already have Wildlands? And whether yes or no, what are you hoping to do? One, if you don't have Wildlands, what are you hoping for out of this? Two, if you do have Wildlands, what are you hoping for out of this?
And if you don't have Wildlands, why?
Well, probably because it's been
You didn't
like
have-
impossible
it's-
to get.
Well, there you go. Answer our own question for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facts.
Escarpments, huge hummock, have heart of the wild pledge. Yeah, I think it's the mountain stuff has been the hardest to get. I think a lot more large curve escarpments. Yeah, and it's also something you need. Like, you just always want more escarpments.
Fact.
More sculpted ground cover. Wasn't able to grab a lot in the shop. Rounding out sculpts I don't already have. Expanding on my escarpment supply. Glamour leaf, glamour leaf, glamour leaf. Escarpments is definitely coming up more than everything else.
Well, good news.
All sorts of swamp banks.
We have escarpments.
Don't have wildlands. Looking for scatter hills on negative land, not water. We're
All
gonna
right.
have it. We're gonna actually
that.
have specifically a scatter bundle that is basically that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in luck. It's your lucky day. Where the heck are the... Did I take something off the table?
You knocked a ledge.
Oh, I
off.
put stuff down... Ha ha
Okay.
ha ha.
Add myself to the escarpment crowd. Two things: escarp and ments.
Ha. See what they did there?
Trees, trees,
That
trees.
was
There
the-
will be a lot of trees, so that's good.
And a scarp and mints.
Escarp and ments. It's raining ments. It's gonna be raining ments. He's got so many. He's got so many mountains, man. He's a real escarp mensch. It would help if there was anything like remotely
Yeah.
leading us in like a Yiddish direction.
Yeah.
But there wasn't. But I just realized, like, oh, mensch is a fun word.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's like you need
I might be
it's
out of- I might-
more
I'm-
like what's the...
I might be out of the juice.
Yeah.
Excited, don't have any at this point. Looking forward to getting basics.
So what's
which buying
the,
some
what's
cool
the
additional
second
pieces.
stringer in the debate club? That's what it... A mensch warmer.
That's really good,
Hey.
man.
See, I'm all night. I mean,
The stream needs a laugh track.
Dong. But Jerry.
Jerry.
I get it.
Jerry.
Wildlands Reforged.
Jerry.
It's a Kickstarter about nothing. We just nothing new.
Modular air. I guess it was kind of the Reliquariums
Yeah.
bit. Need a Newman mini? Oh God. I backed the big boy pleasure in the first Kickstarter. Didn't realize it didn't really come with battle boards, so I need those actually. Oh well, cool. We're gonna be doing them.
What do they need?
Battle boards.
Battle boards.
Yeah.
We'll have those. We got those. We got those.
Collection still small, but I'm actually looking for monster minis. The monster minis are in stock already, so we're not gonna have them in this
Yay.
because they're actually in stock in the store.
Good news. Your wish has been granted. Peruse dwarvenforge.com.
Is Huge Hummock Pack unpainted? Huge Hummock is core, right? It's not stretch goal?
No, it is currently stretch goal.
It is currently stretch goal.
I believe. Well, no,
I think it got
It
moved.
bounced back over. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I moved it because like I put it in that scatter bundle.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you sneakily
It's a
stealthed it out
good-
of retirement.
It's a good piece.
Oh yeah, that's
and
a
we
great
should
piece.
have it.
I mean, here's the thing: they're all great pieces. We're just trying to prioritize.
Yeah, we don't make bad pieces.
Well,
Yeah. So yeah, Huge Hummock should be there in the core from the beginning. I did just order more dungeon stuff on the restock today. Excellent.
woo! What'd you get? And why?
Battle boards are my number one. Okay, so it sounds
Remember
like so
Tyler
far.
said he's leaving.
Yeah, now he's just talking to
He's
hamster.
still out there just talking loudly. You know.
He's louder than
He's
the
out
babies.
trying to quietly leave. He said. Mm-hmm.
Trying to quietly leave, and then he has the loudest conversation I've ever
Uh-huh.
heard.
Hey,
Hang-
you ever had a quiet conversation?
Hanging on every word right now. The dude projects.
Yeah, he's
He also
classically
he
trained.
also talks loud.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Zinging.
He has a very loud, especially his laugh.
Yeah, it is piercing.
His
It is.
hidden
Believe
burrow
in
lump could use a
some
couple.
stages.
Oh yeah, the hidden burrow lump. We actually were a
It's
lot
in
of
there.
those smaller pieces. We actually were like looking at like how do we make these the hollow hedge. A number of those pieces were like these need a better pack. So we actually are looking at a lot of that. Fanatics Trove and large floors. Nice.
Nice. That is a combo.
If this endeavor works well, are you thinking of doing something similar with caverns? The
Yes.
first next one we'd want to do is dungeons because we wanted to do some new dungeon core sets, as well as we want to add like 5 new sculpts to the dungeons lineup. So dungeons would be like the next one, but eventually we would want to roll through and do like this would basically be the vehicle for like when we have an existing collection that needs like a little bit of work or adjustment. or we want to like add some things in. If this works, this would basically become the model for doing stuff like that. So we would probably move through.
Reforged would be the hope.
Yeah. So we would probably move through every biome doing something like that.
I really ended up with a lot of straights this time, but you know.
Castles, yeah. Castles potentially.
I'm afraid of castles, I'll be honest. Going back in there, because I want to make so many new things and we can't.
Yeah.
There's one thing I'm afraid of.
We will just
Castles.
have to. Having something in my cart does not guarantee that I'm going to check out with it. Yeah, because then what? If we let it work that way, it would open it up to scraping basically. People would be able to go in with like a script and just kind of hold on to all the inventory and like check out with it, and it would leave us like more vulnerable to scalping.
Did not know that.
Yeah. It has been a problem for some companies. And also, we don't have a ton of control over the features because we basically have to use pre-built. None of us really know how to.
We're not tech
Build that
wizards
stuff out.
with the old
Yeah.
interwebs.
So we're using like all pre-built stuff through Shopify. So we only have so much control over how a lot of the store stuff works. It is something that we're looking into though. After Lowtown, we started like kind of looking into. We're looking at like the next phase in like the evolution of the website and the web store. And I'm excited to be able to talk more about that when we have a better idea of what that will be.
Yeah. Let's try that there. All right, we can try some. I'm getting close to thing. You know what's fun to build with?
Blocks?
Dwarven Forge stuff.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but specifically, the banks are fun because it's just such like a loose, like, I don't know. It's just they're loose.
Imagine castles with biscuits and scaffolding. I need to show how you
boy.
can combine them all. When we get the stuff in, I need to show how you can mix in the remastered like stone floors and stuff to add that functionality into your castles.
It's
Because I was playing around with it. The issue was just that we didn't get tooled prototypes of the fieldstone stuff during the campaign, so we weren't really able to show it off very well.
You know what? That's why Tyler is sort of front-loading the heck out of tooled floors for Hightown, so we'll have those things ahead of time. for
Well, now
just
that we understand how to make these prototypes, we can do it a lot. Like we've already made so many sci-fi prototypes. Like
Turns out that Tyler's not just a fine mustache. He's got a little bit more than that.
yeah, there's
A loud voice.
There's some stuff going on behind that mustache.
The man behind the mustache.
Yeah. Pay-per-view D&D. Where did that what did that come from?
Pay-per-view After Dark, the mustache.
I don't know. Well, this came before that. I'm trying to. It might have been some bit of the conversation that I forgot we had. Would buying
Fair.
pieces individually or a la carte ever be a thing? It's not really economically feasible for us. No, we can do that with some pieces. Some pieces that are big, stuff like the Oblivion Nexus, really only makes sense to do in a pack with one. But when we've got a lot of small pieces like this, if we've got a piece that like costs less to produce than it would take to ship, it is not really economically feasible for us to like sell those individually. Like it also would balloon our SKU count, and yeah.
Currently, with the way we've set up, we can't do it, but it doesn't mean it's never something we would do. Jade's dreams about finding a way to be able to do it, just to get rid of some of the weird, specific, high quantities of small things we have somewhere.
If he really wants to get rid of that stuff, honestly, he's gonna hate it. But the way to do it is just to like put it like half off or something, and just say like, "Hey, just come get these."
Or we have pieces by the pound at Gen Con, but it's such a pain to actually run that.
Or we dump them in a river. But that's where we get the least money out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Also, just
Also, it
running
ruins like the ecosystem. But like, you know,
Yeah.
he's not just a piece of mustache. Yeah.
Right.
Can we have a single sci-fi bean for a starving merc?
Yeah, you had to rewind to like 30 minutes ago, Chris.
It's true. There was one.
Just slipped in a little.
There's a joke about new site features. The site builders always advertise members-only videos.
Oh, members only.
That would be weird if we moved to like a subscription service.
Join now.
People have asked us to do like
See all the content you can't see on the
Dwarven
mainstream
Forge,
internet.
subscription
Yeah.
box, and that is so ridiculously financially. We would have to make it like $150 a month or something.
500 a month. It would
Yeah.
not be, yeah.
150 to like send you something that's not even interesting, and like
Yeah.
to get it would not be. It's not good.
Join now to live chat with Dwarven Forge team members.
Give me the GPS coordinates, and I'll do a volunteer river cleanup. We just that's what we do an AR. We do an ARG. We just dump it all in a field somewhere, and we leave like hints,
It's
like
huge collection
send
of
people on a
of-
scavenger hunt to go find where we've dumped all these sets.
It's amazing.
I had a simple way to feed my neighbor's cats. Too bad you missed the bean. DF plus. Oh god.
We give people a little red check
Go from
mark.
DF plus, and we're
Maybe
like, we're rebranding to Forge.
Forge Plus.
Just Forge.
Forge.
With the subtext.
Drop
it's
the
where
dwarven.
the dwarves are. Subtext? Subtitle?
Subtext.
With the subtext.
It's implied.
It's where the dwarves are. It's just heavily implied in our
We're just
tone.
implying,
Yeah.
you know, you want dwarves? You dwarves?
Like all the LED runic columns just laying around. Well, hey,
Yeah.
the runic columns.
Guess what?
Hey, they're coming in. We got a new pack with them.
Coming in hot.
It's so relaxing just watching the builds. Yeah, we haven't really done just like a build and chill stream in a long time, and this is kind of what this part's turning into. Subliminal. I love that game.
What's is it part of Monkey Island?
It's kind of in the same. Well, I mean, it's a puzzle game, so it doesn't really play the same. It's not a point and click, but I would say the Subliminal guys probably loved Monkey Island. Forger, an app for finding hot dwarven terrain in your area. Hot anvils, hot anvils
Forger.
in your area.
Hot anvils.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Iron. I love it. Forger.
It's fun watching Nate revise the build as he goes, makes him feel better about my build process. Yeah, well, that's kind of the cool thing with this. Like, literally, like, the 4 different layouts I came up with for the mountain build were done by just kind of free building.
You should
Like-
see, you know, I should just like time lapse doing a build for the home game. Like I'm constantly just noodling and rearranging. Like you don't just like
Strike right.
roll it out and get it.
Strike
like,
left or strike
the
right.
first-
Oh, no.
strike right.
It's very good.
You don't ever get it like on the first thing because also you got to feel it and you got to then sort of say, okay, what are, you know, what does it feel like the players might do? What are the paths? Are there enough interesting ways to think? Where am I going to put my bits? Like I don't know. It's like at least for me, it's a very fluid. I don't know.
You gave me a super strike.
Mess it around. Mess it around. After dark.
Hot pockets in your area. That would get Hamster.
Yeah.
That's the dating app he wants.
Oh.
Hamster, are you still here? Okay,
No,
no, he said he said he isn't. All right.
No. Don't lure him in with hot
He's
pockets.
just
It's
painting
not
up
even
his-
nice.
Yeah, don't worry, we're not talking about hot pockets.
How's the Super Vulture going?
Oh, it's a beast of a kid.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Did I just
Night,
see
Rabbit.
that you have a second one?
No,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
I need
alright.
to get like 500
Because I
more
was
points.
gonna get you a second one because you didn't have it, but I was like, oh, okay. It's like I see there's already one there, so you
I got
know.
a box with a second vulture and a second sludge raker.
Just now, like would.
It got delivered today. I'm
You-
not addicted.
So you've finished painting 90% of your models. You've painted like 2,000 points of orcs in the last like 2 months. So you're like, you know what? What I need now? More orcs.
I need
Another
options.
1,000 points.
Now, what if you want to play the double vulture?
Honestly, I don't think you need options because you keep crushing me. So I think you need less options.
Craft singles in your area.
We'll really test our-
Okay. These are just warm-ups. I'm throwing these early ones. So you'll keep playing.
Hey, we just hit 6,000 followers, baby.
Woo!
Nice.
We got to give away some hot pockets.
6,000 followers for Moridian.
The all fathers pleased.
Oh, man. Thank you.
You know what I got to do? I have to play a hamster on camera and then I'll win.
Yeah, the dude
He'll
is
do it.
incapable of winning on camera.
Yeah. That's my only chance.
He almost came back in the Relic Blade one.
Almost, but it's not a. Oh, yeah. This is a fun little. When you just put this little guy here, like.
Oh yeah, it fits like inside the
Yeah.
Titan's tooth real well.
Nooks in there, makes a little, it's just so, there's so many, you might not be able to tell by looking at them, but there was an enormous amount of thought put into the various rock formations in Wildlands. Like, there is a whole bunch of hidden sort of sympathetic geometry in there as designed so that they would nook together in specific ways. I should show, where the heck is it? Do they even still work? These two stump lumps that can sit yin-yang style on the huge hummock. Well, I don't know. It's not even here. I'll keep doing this. But yeah, there's so much fun little ways these things are designed to nestle together, right? Because you want to kind of set it up so that like people will be playing and you'll just find these things and you'll be like, oh, these kind of pleasingly like just sit, like design these experiences that people will discover. So then they're building it, they go, oh wow, look, this sits so nicely here. Like it was just, like I just discovered a thing. You're leaving Easter eggs for people to find. And then I forget about them. And then find them. And then feel cool that I found it. What's so funny?
We've picked up a lot of Japanese fans recently, and I think it's very fun. Somebody quote retweeted the social post about the stream, and it's Wildlands and then a string of Japanese characters, which Google translates into "Are you still releasing something?" And then like an assy art face. It's just like, and it's very cute and I adore it.
I get retweeted by some Japanese accounts. I can't figure out what they are because it's in Japanese. But
Gary is like active in the community now and has been like very cool. There's a couple like Japanese. We've picked up like a couple Japanese fans from somewhere who like talk about us and tweet about us fairly often.
Social anxiety
cool.
is your weapon, Nate.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Oh man.
God,
it's fun to see like all these pieces. It's fun to get back into using these pieces again.
It's fun to see other people have social anxiety. Oh.
Basically everybody. It's kind of just a thing now.
I've never recovered from the pandemic. Like I don't know how to interface with people anymore.
Yeah, that's when I got awkward.
It's yeah. As one of the many marvelous things about this place is like it's okay to be weird and awkward and goofy and quirky and we are just such a delightful bunch of weirdos that it's okay, and we're also really pretty good at sort of working through whatever when there's some friction or whatever. I think people are really good about in this little circle about, hey, like this is bugging me, how do we let's dig into it.
Yeah,
Facts.
I don't know. I think there's enough similarities between most of the people here that we're all able to get along pretty well with most things.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Well, and figure out how to navigate some of the stuff, if the thing isn't, I don't know, people are very good at kind of, there's a lot of emotional intelligence, or at least in here, sort of figuring out how to interface with each other in a positive and constructive way.
Yeah. It's
Good.
cool. We've been able to like get through some pretty rough stuff just by genuinely getting that feeling of like, hey, we've all kind of got each other's back
We've
here.
got support.
Like
you can be vulnerable and it's okay. And
yeah,
I've grown a hell of a lot through through my time here and sort of working with this team and trying to all of it. I don't know. It's really it's been great.
Yeah. COVID finished the job the 90s started.
Yeah, the COVID finished the job that high school started. Jeez. Does anybody remember
When did you go to high school?
1990.
So the 90s.
Yeah.
So there we go.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, high school was a tough time when you're a little.
God, you started high school
when
before
you're
I was
like the
born.
weirdo, like all the time. It's
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have man.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about me 12 years ago.
No.
Yeah.
Tough times.
13 years. Oh no. Oh no.
What happened?
I'm old.
You're old?
I'm
Stop.
old.
Get out of here.
I'll never forget.
You just complained earlier about the show. You're gonna go.
I'll never forget during the reliquaries. During reliquaries, we had the stream with the football players, And they're all like, just like, oh, all these professional athletes, and they're like, yeah, I'm 24, yeah, I'm 27. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I made my first million at 21. And then you're like, huh.
Well, like, there's like three people in the NFL who are older than me.
Got my Heisman when I.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, last exclude. Hey, this is pretty fun. I think we got a thing here.
Sounds like an interesting contrast from the promote or leave short-term jobs in my industry. In our industry,
You know,
honestly,
honestly,
we're seeing so many.
we try
everywhere.
we try really hard to find the people that are passionate, like that are going to pour their hearts out in here, and then find the thing or things that they're good at where they can really do that. And we'll take time with people to find the right spot for them, evolve with them till they're in their sweet spot where they can really, they find the thing that resonates, and they can do the thing that they're good at. Because fundamentally, like, everybody is so committed here. If you get people that are super committed and super passionate, then you find the thing that then they can just laser focus on. Where it's like you can take over the world.
I mean, yeah. Then
Here we are.
then it just becomes about just like taking care of them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Trying to support people to succeed, and taking the time. Like, Tyler it took a long time to figure out where Tyler's sweet spot was, and now he's like the king of the world. But it took a couple of years to figure out where he could resonate and take over. Now he is like the absolute brains of the whole operation. It's really. But we have the patience. If there's a spark of passion and drive, we have the patience to figure out where that can lie, and then let it evolve too, right? People continue to shift and evolve and change, and
I mean, I made up a
explore
job to work here. So.
yeah. Fact. Yeah. Toby started as like an intern putting away prototypes, and is now sculpting. Like, didn't even think he ever wanted to be a sculptor. Well, all sorts of fun. Right? Mace, when it just started with a cool cover letter, and now is running the place. Like, we're just a lot of really fun. Like, I don't know. We attract the right kind of people, and then we'll put in the time to figure out how to maximize. It's definitely not a straight line.
Well, I mean, our company shouldn't exist.
No,
It's very weird that this company exists.
it's a miracle. It really, it shouldn't, on paper, it shouldn't work. You know what? Who's responsible for a lot of it is you lunatics out there who keep shoveling money into the train. Just keep going. Like, all right. And very thankful for it.
Yeah.
All right, we got some islands here.
This is the same build we were just looking at a while ago, and it's a foot longer.
This is the ADHD haven, the promised land. It is. This is the. If you are neurodivergent, you're not welcome here unless you're neurodivergent. Like,
How
you
many-
need to be.
How many of our employees?
Everybody.
I probably got something.
Are you? Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I'm not. I've never been evaluated. I've probably got something.
Your
going
brain
on
does not work like other people's.
outside of depression.
It is supercharged.
Yeah.
It is like, you make connections in ways that other people don't. Yeah. No, there's all like, we have a very delightful collection of very unique minds, and it's the Avengers. We have like.
Our neurons have fully diverged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a company you can't do a graph paper. It's true. You can't. It shouldn't exist on graph paper. It's three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got pieces left over. Oh, there it is. All right, cool.
Pieces left over.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I had
That was
two
the thing
left
with like the
over.
mountain build too. Is like we built this whole thing. So I'm like,
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
even used like any of the small bits yet.
Yeah, we got these over. So we got a little thing. Bum, bum, bum. Just the next time. Oh, I didn't see it. All right. So we got a big old thing. So it's just trying to do something different. So it's little island, lots of islandy bits, right? Lots of little bits to hop on. So you could platforming, right? Trying to find ways that people can get across from A to B without trying to step in the water, because the water is going to kill you.
Water texture mat looks pretty. Like the water texture looks pretty good here.
Yeah, I love it. When
Okay,
started
there
with
we go.
the
There's the.
speculars kicking off it. So this is one of my favorite gags, right? You put the hidden burrow lump over a teardrop, and then you have like a neat nook going down into certain depth. You get What are the fun bits? These are the two rocky end caps, stuck together to make a lump and throw a nettle gorse on there because nettle
I
gorse.
always forget we can do that.
Yeah.
There's so many little tricks on this.
Sauropods. These guys hook together, right? So the bunch of the stump lumps have flat back ends, so you can stick them together and make them feel like a cohesive thing. And let's get more platformy bits over. These guys, right? This is another just simple, right? You want to make a little. This is really good in a river too, right? Natural. This is how the dirt would form if there was a current flowing. Oops, what is it? Like that teardrop shape. If the current was flowing from the left to the right, it doesn't work so well when I'm trying to hold it in there. But it's just it's the two transitions and two little convexes. Make a little fun little island. This goes on there. Teardrops out there. Whoa. Lily pads, trees, plenty of playable space. Got our Titan's tooth base back out there. Plenty of trees, plenty of moss, and it's 2 feet by 4 feet, right? So lots of fun. Says you could run a real fun encounter here.
It really feels like if you pick this up, you can rearrange these to do like you can do like countless swamp
It's the
builds.
same sets we were just doing the other thing.
And then it mixes into all your forest stuff if you got forest
Dude,
stuff.
Take that forest set, put it on here. Now you can do a couple of ponds with a bunch of things out into the cove. It'd be awesome. Yeah, so we got those hopefully coming at Gen Con. And it is 8:59. We made it.
Woo!
Chris, we made it.
We made it the whole 2 hours.
Woo! It's a miracle. But it's thanks to you
It's
guys
gonna be a good.
cheering us on.
It's gonna be a good 4-day weekend.
So what do we tomorrow night? We got a little hobby hanging.
Yeah, I don't know if
with the
I'm
hobby?
joining or not, but basically we're like one mini short of a fully painted game of Shatterpoint, so Hamster's gonna be working on the
Is
last
that a
mini for that.
euphemism? 1 mini short of a full game of Shatterpoint.
That's like our not the brightest tool in the shed or
Yeah, about as sharp as a sack of wet mice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's one mini
Yeah.
short of a painted game of Shatterpoint.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
So hobby hang.
He's about
Shatterpoint.
300 points short of an army. Just weird. Gamer. I'm gonna release a book of gamer lingo.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a base bestseller. And then next week I am playtesting with.
You're
Steven.
outta here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Heroes Dare is shaping up. So then we'll.
Oh
be
yeah,
back
I guess
the
we could
week
have talked
after.
about that. Like
We haven't
yeah.
talked about that in a while. Well,
yeah.
yeah.
It's still happening.
Yeah. It's getting better than ever. We're on
Today
version 600 of the rules. It's really getting. 600
making
was
a
the one.
well, it's just that making a board game is a different kind of challenge for us,
Yeah.
and it involves like a lot of other stuff. And today was an extremely good sign.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So we got some really good progress. We're like, I just want to play it already.
Mm-hmm.
And then we combine it with sci-fi. We have Where Heroes Dare in Space, and it's like we do all in one. It'll be one giant Kickstarter, board game and sci-fi terrain win. No, we're not. But so we're off next week. We'll be back the week after. And I don't think anything else is happening between now and then, right? There's no crazy restocks. There's no crazy anything.
I don't think so.
No,
The
nothing.
next restock is we've got the July restock coming next month in
Woo!
July,
When is
but
that?
we don't know
All right.
we don't know which day yet because it's going to depend on when the container hits
We
the.
never know the day until it actually is in the
Well,
warehouse.
because okay, so we used to give ballparks, but then pandemic shipping happened, and the point where, but like
Well,
for
then it could get to this. It could get to the whatever, the harbor,
Yeah.
the dock, the shore, and it could still get stuck in customs or whatever they don't think. And then it has to get on the truck, and then the truck has to get up at Poughkeepsie, and then it has to go to the warehouse, and then it actually get received at the warehouse and unpacked north, and there's all these stages that we don't have any control over. And sometimes they don't even get a thing, or something get noticed. Oh yeah, it just got to the warehouse. Like wait, I thought it was still on the road. And it's
yeah.
So we'll know when it.
Any idea when the next limited restock? The next reserve release won't be until after the Game Found campaign for sure.
It'll be next year.
They don't, they're not
Probably.
really scheduled. It's kind of just you know what, we've got nothing happening in the store for a bit. Let's take a look and just see. Like we've got like these laying around. We've kind of just spaced them out. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
Next
Reforged,
February
then
when
board
net
game,
early-
then sci-fi, then high ten. Sci-fi would be before board game, pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we don't have the mechanics aren't locked on the board game, much less all the level design, character
Yeah.
design, much less any style guides, much less any sculpting, much less any actual play testing.
And also,
we have a long way to
but
go.
like meanwhile, the pieces for sci-fi are actually like shaping up.
Oh yeah,
And we haven't even like started with the pieces for the
we're
board game
cruising.
So
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should have the full sci-fi set done by tail end of this year, and ready to launch early next year.
yeah,
It's gonna be awesome.
I'm really
The show-
excited. I'm excited to make sci-fi themed content.
Yeah,
Like that's gonna be such a fun shift.
yeah, lasers
Lasers
Fog.
everywhere.
everywhere, just lasers.
Yeah.
We're gonna be it's gonna be great. All right, thank you everybody. Really, really, really appreciate all your support, hanging out with us, giving us good ideas, cheering us on, appreciating Tyler's mustache. We'll
Yeah.
see you in 2
Oh,
weeks.
man.
Have a wonderful night. It's the Tyler Mustache Show tonight. Who knew? I don't know. It's like,
We never really put him on stream.
no.
He's in the Bill Gems.
He
That's
should
kind
be.
of it.
He's always
We just
too
haven't
busy
been
working.
doing. We just
That guy
haven't
is
really
like-
done anything outside of the. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's the main thing. And I haven't really had time to
He
like
never-
do a lot of.
He's like he's a nonstop.
We
He did a
haven't
lot.
really done anything outside of like the regular outside of Lowtown. We haven't done a stream that wasn't just like the regular on the Anvil and Hobby Hang in a long time.
Forever.
And it's just
Well.
it was just a lot busier now. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
on that note, good night. Thank
Good night, everybody.
you. Woo.